Well, the Fugitive Slave Law of 1850 is one of the most contentious issues between North and South. It's part of the Compromise of 1850, which included some pro-Northern and some pro-Southern measures, and this was the most important pro-Southern part of the Compromise. Now, the right of Southerners to get back their fugitive slaves is in the Constitution, so there's no doubt about that. The Constitution would never have been ratified in the first place by the South if it didn't include a clause saying that these, doesn't use the word slave, it used persons held to labor, but everyone knew who they were talking about. They have a right to get them back. This is very important because it makes the whole country responsible for policing the slave system of the South. The northern states can abolish slavery, as they will do, but they cannot get out of their responsibility for, at least under the Constitution, for recognizing the legitimacy of slavery in the South and treating fugitive slaves as criminals, basically, who have to be returned. Now, but a lot of northern states eventually decide they don't want to do that, and in the 1840s they passed what are called these personal liberty laws, which recognize fugitive slaves as people who, for example, are entitled to a trial by jury or things like that. And that's why you get this Fugitive Slave Law of 1850, which makes it a responsibility of the federal government to go into northern communities and seize these fugitives. Federal marshals can do that. The Fugitive Slave Law is interesting because we always hear and we say that the South believes in states' rights, the South and the federal, limited federal government. This is completely untrue. The South does not believe in states' rights. The South believes in slavery. When states' rights is a defense of slavery, they believe in that. But the Fugitive Slave Law is the most powerful exercise of federal authority within the United States before the Civil War of any law of Congress. And the South wants it. Federal marshals going into a town in the North, overriding local police, overriding local courts, seizing people. We're states' rights and local autonomy in that. But the South doesn't care about that. We want our slaves back. So this becomes a very big issue in the North, but Lincoln is in favor of sending back fugitive slaves because he said this is one of the compromises. We cannot live in this country with the South unless we are willing to respect their constitutional rights, and there's no question they have a constitutional right. In one of his letters, famous letter to his friend Joshua Speed, he says, "I confess I hate to see these poor fugitives hunted down, but I bite my lip and keep silent." Why does he keep silent? Because he wants to maintain the Union. He wants to maintain the union of North and South, and he knows without the sending back of fugitive slaves, the South will not be a permanent part of the Union.